Alright guys, so here we are for episode number 4 of the F1 2006 Career Mode Championship. This is the grand finale of Season 2. We're here already for Brazil, so only a few races into this season and it's coming to a close already. So this final race is very important for us. We do not have a drive for next season as it stands at the moment. Even though we got a podium at China, it's still not enough at the moment for us to be offered a contract by any team whatsoever. So it's going to be a very interesting predicament, and I want to eliminate all doubt that I can and just do the best job that I can here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Final race of Season 2.
Welcome to Sao Paulo, Brazil, for the final qualifying session in this year's calendar.
As we look at the points table, we can see Michael Schumacher leads 6 points over Fernando Alonso, and 6 points is a pretty big margin in F1 2006, so it's pretty likely that Schumi will go on to win the championship unless Alonso can win and Schumi retires. Us though, we're in 11th place on 6 points. Unfortunately, we can't move up any more positions than that, but there are a few cars behind us, or a few drivers rather, who are very, very close to us, so it would mean a lot for me to hold on to P11, but more importantly, yeah, it is more about securing a drive for next season. 38 PSI on the front tyre pressures, and then on the rear we have 24. That's a huge difference between the front and the rear tyre pressures. 38 PSI, that's much higher inflated than what I've ran with so far this season, but I'm going to trust this website, and hopefully it can do the goods for us. Alright, so there is the gear ratios, that is the handling characteristics of this car, a few different things to what the normal pattern is. And as of course you've seen the tyres with the pressures and everything, so that is the setup that I'm running with for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Fingers crossed it's a good one. So at the moment I've set two 114.1s and we're still provisionally, never mind, we sit P3 at the moment and the best time is the 13.6, so 5/10 off. I think we should be good enough to get through to Q2, so I'm not going to waste any more time in this session.
We'll continue in a few moments with the second knockout session, where we'll decide grid positions 16 to 11.
Yeah, pretty safe there. Into Q2, in P10 on a 14.1, so definitely more time to improve on there. That was so close to nailing one of the Hondas there, but they really shouldn't be getting in the way like that on a qualifying lap. First lap in qualifying 2 is it going to, it's a 14.3, and that lap felt absolutely atrocious. So yeah, so much more time to find. In all honesty, I think it's pretty good sign so far. We're putting in some pretty dodgy laps so far, but we're still relatively competitive. Whereas you contrast that to Japan, and we put in some absolute banger laps in, and we'd like be in the teens of grid position. So with that lap, it's a 13.5, and that was much more representative of where we stand for this Brazilian Grand Prix, provisionally on pole at the moment. However, this is Q2. I say provisional pole, I just mean I'm going to top the session if it stays as it is.
We'll continue with session 3 of qualifying in a few moments.
So third place at the end of Q2 after a fairly decent lap. Still find that there's probably a little bit more time to find even still with that. So things are pretty encouraging heading into qualifying 3. However, we're going to put a little bit more fuel on board, so that may affect the car a little bit, may send us down the order a little bit if some of the other runners decide to run with less fuel for qualifying. So it's going to be interesting, but overall we're pretty competitive this weekend.
First there were 22, then there were 16. Now we're down to the final 10.
The trouble is now deciding what to do in qualifying. I think I'm going to go with one lap less, and that'll give us just a little bit less fuel to run with in qualifying. I know how important it is to stop later on in the race, but I feel like if I can have track position, I can really command or like take control of this Grand Prix. So that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully it's going to be the winning strategy. Away we go for qualifying 3 here in Brazil. It's not a good start. Here we go, first competitive lap in qualifying 3. Where does it put us? Puts us third on a 14.4. Just a 10th off of Fisichella, so we're in the ballpark today. Definitely for pole position. Oh yes, thank you so much, DC. He's given us the slipstream on the run up to turn 4, and then he's like completely pulled out of the way. Thank you very much. You've given me a green first sector. Thank you. 4 tenths down in the middle sector. That's not the kind of lap time I was looking for. I feel like DC gave us more help than what he did harm by blocking us into turn 4, but we come across 14.6. I was expecting more than that. What are we sitting on now? It's a 14.3, isn't it? So we've got to find 8 tenths. 8 tenths to match Fernando Alonso, who banged in that 13.5 while we returned to the pits after our first run. So that looks quite... It's a very mighty lap time, to say the least. We're in P5, pretty respectable. But I still want to find another couple of tenths. The car keeps getting oversteer on the exit of turn 1. I'm not too sure why. It wasn't happening in the Toro Rosso in the first season, so yeah, I don't know what's going on there. And again, 4 tenths down in the first sector. What do I have to do? Go back to the pits is what I have to do. What we'll do is not play with the fuel. Tires and grip. We'll go on the hards and then back on the softs, because I feel like if I do that, it might change the tyre compounds, maybe. Change into a new set, possibly. We've got 6 minutes left in the session. Last time I checked, we were running with about 21 laps worth of fuel on the car. So the others around us may be running with less fuel, and that may be disguising some of their pace a little bit. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to have to go out and set laps, burn as much fuel as I can, and try and keep the tyres alive at the same time. A bit of a balancing act, but I'm going to have to go and do it. 5 laps, 5 minutes left in qualifying 3. Final qualifying session of this season. We're going to have to take a big push for pole now. 7 tenths down in the first sector. Let's just roll out of the throttle. Preserve these tyres a little bit. They are fairly cold, so I wasn't expecting miracles on the first lap. We'll give it a bit of a banger now in the second one. And then after that we may have 1 or 2 laps left in the session to see what we can do up against some of the best teams here in Formula 1. 4 tenths down in the first. I'm guessing it's 4 tenths down on the Sector 1 that I had the slipstream on. Because I think they compare your sectors with your, like, personal best sectors. Not your personal best lap, but, you know, the absolute best sectors that you put in over the course of this session. So, like I said, it's not the end of the world if you see yellow boxes. And there we see a green one, which is exactly what I want to see. We finally nailed the middle sector, and I think the fresh tyres have contributed to that. Now we got to cross the line well. You can't cross the line badly, Ben, so I don't know what you're on about here. Anyway, up to the line. Is it a 13? It's a 13.9! 4 tenths off of Alonso. Just 2 minutes left in the session, so we've got 2 flying laps, maybe a third, if the time will permit. Why am I getting so excited about this qualifying session? I'm not in a championship battle. I just want to survive and stay in F1 for another season. And maybe win this race. That'd be a bonus. Alonso, you cheeky bugger, while I wasn't looking, he lowered it to a 13.4. This is an old NASCAR trick where you try and lengthen the straight by driving more meters to get yourself a higher top speed. So, let's see if that works on this lap. It may help with our first sector time. We don't lose the back end through the center S's, so that's a plus. Just 1 tenth down. 1 tenth down in the first sector. Ran wide a little bit there, but that was without slipstream, so this is a very good first sector so far. Nah. Of course that would happen. 35 seconds left to go in the session. We just got to get round and cross the line in time for one last lap in this qualifying session. And again, trying to take the outside line. We're going to drive as many meters as we can. It may blow up in our faces here. We're going to run out of time. I don't think it would have mattered either way. It is going to be P5 for the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a shame. That spin cost us not only a chance of setting a lap on the penultimate lap, but it also cost us 1 additional lap because we lost a few seconds there, and that was the difference between getting an extra 2 laps in. So, very, very frustrating. It's a 13.9. If we could have improved by 1 or 2 tenths, that would have put us on P3 possibly, but overall, I can't complain too much because this is still our best qualifying position on hard difficulty.
Don't go anywhere. We're only minutes away from the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix, coming to you live from Interlagos.
And off they go on their parade lap.
Setting off for the formation lap. for the final race of this season. Is this going to be the last time I drive in a Formula 1 car on F1 2006? I'm not too sure. Fingers crossed. Oh, Jesus! Bloody hell, almost spun out on the formation lap. Some of you guys left some really good comments in the previous video. They said to essentially just do all the tyre warming like literally in the last sector, because if you warm up the tyres too early and like try and vigorously warm them up too much over the course of the lap, then they're going to wear out quicker at the start of the race. So, you know, it makes sense.
Okay, we've got high expectations for the race today. We're looking for a top 3 finish. Hopefully a win, but you're going to have to fight for it.
You know, a top 3 finish actually sounds realistic today.
Good luck and enjoy the race.
Thank you very much. I think that is all that we have left to do now. Just enjoy the race, have a good one, and see what comes of it at the end of today. Ideally, I'd love to score points, but if I can finish in the top 5, dare I say it, maybe even in the top 3, then that would be a dream result for this Brazilian Grand Prix. Final race of Season 2, 10 red lights. And it's away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Fairly decent start. We're going to overtake both Ferraris heading into turn 1. Can we get past the Renaults as well? Possibly past Fisichella. He's got a very compromised line heading through turns 2 and 3. Now we're going to pass him possibly up the inside into turn 4. Use the slipstream to our advantage and see what we can do. We look very competitive at the start of this race. Concentrating here. I'm going ultra sweat mode. I want to catch these Renaults. In the past, we haven't done ourselves justice. We've got done for corner cutting or something like that. Caught up in traffic. But today, it's been a very clean run. We know the Renaults. We know the AI are weak there. And we've taken advantage into P2. We still need to make this stick, though. And we got him. Fisichella has nothing to answer for. Oh, thank you, engineer. You're shouting in the air. Fuck. Oh. I don't want to blame the engineer there, but I got distracted a little bit. Yes, nice and close to Fisichella. Let's get a super exit off this corner like we do. It's almost so good for us that we have to avoid making contact and crashing into the back of it. We've got second place once again. Now let's not bottle it this time. Alonso hasn't got away too much, so that's good. Get out of my slipstream. You're not having that. There's oil, which I pray will not be on the racing line by the time I get through here. There it is. Fisichella ran over that, and he's lost a bit of time there. Alright. Bloody shut the hell up, engineer. These great first sectors are going to be the death of me. There we go. We've driven away from Fisichella. Now it's going to be all about catching Alonso. If I don't talk too much, or if you don't see too much action from now until the pit stop phase, I think you'll know why. I really want to catch this guy. Oh, please! The back end losses through there. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable going through there. One of these days, I'm going to lose it all. Alonso is not getting away. He's just 1.2 seconds up the road. I haven't been putting in the best laps, to be honest, but if I can just nail a couple, then we'll get within that 1 second range that will put us in a position to possibly overtake him in the pit stop phases. Oh, he's up my inside there. You guys told me in the comments of some previous videos to check my mirrors, but on my screen they are absolutely tiny, and I can barely notice anyone going up my inside, and there's no indication markers either there as well. So I'm sorry if someone's up my inside, it'll be very hard for me to notice. I mean, I can understand you guys as viewers saying, you know, why don't you look in your mirrors more? Well, like, they're so tiny, like I said, but I'm just trying to go as fast as I can, and if I spend every braking zone, every corner looking in the mirrors, that's just going to slow me down. But if I was in cockpit cam, or if I was on a Codemasters F1 game, the mirrors...
Well, it reads empty, so get in on this lap to refuel.
Okay, we need to pit this lap. But yeah, like I was saying, if the mirrors were more prominent, I'd be able to to check the mirrors like almost in my peripheral vision, whereas at the moment it's very hard to tell. I noticed that almost immediately when coming back to F1 2015 for the last of first video the other day. I noticed how easy it was to check things in my mirror on that game.
Request acknowledged.
And my pit stop hasn't gone green. Yes, it has gone green now. Okay.
Stop this lap, this lap.
I was getting worried that I was going to come into the pits and I wasn't going to get serviced. I've gone to 0 in terms of the fuel. So if I run out now, that'd be awfully cruel. Into the pits now. We've stretched out this this first stint by a lap. And we come in at the same time. Oh my goodness! We ran out of fuel just then! We ran out of fuel on the way into the pit lane. That is so lucky. That is so lucky, guys. We've just survived in this Grand Prix. How's the pit stop? How's the blood pressure? Jesus.
Mark. Massa is first. He's up from third. Barrichello is second. You're third.
And there we go. 8.4 second pit stop. Have we made ground on Alonso? Probably, in terms of the pit stop, but we lost a lot of time in actually running out of fuel there. That really did hurt our momentum. But my goodness, how lucky was that? If the pit lane if it would have taken us any longer to get to the pit lane, we would have ran out of fuel. We would have been stationary, and our day would have been done. I am so lucky. So Massa now with a late pit stop has moved into third place, and he jumps Fisichella and gets onto the podium provisionally. Massa's going to be one to watch out for because he's got the freshest tyres out of all of us.
Stay alert, we've only got 5 laps to go.
Okay, I will do. Alonso is running away with this race at the moment, and I'm just fighting to hold on to second place as it stands. Ooh, 13-1.
Lap time, you just posted the quickest one so far, keep it up.
Thank you. This Red Bull is really coming alive in the last few laps.
Race leader Alonso has started his final lap.
Here we go. Last lap of the season, and we set a 12.9. Fastest lap all weekend. What a time. Let's just bring it home. I have one last question for you guys, and that is whether we go into a set of hards after the first pit stop, or have we gone with soft compound tyres for the entirety of this race? Because if that was a set of hard tyres, then that is a really good race compound. We set our fastest lap of the weekend on a set of hard compound tyres. But at the start of the race, I said I would be really happy to come away with a points finish inside the top 5, or even in the third on the podium would be a dream result as well. But the fact that we managed to finish in second place today was just outstanding. What a way to finish off this season.
It's been a fascinating season with all manner of twists and turns to the story. It's been a wonderful journey for me and a real privilege to cover this season for you.
That was probably the best I drove so far in this entirety of the F1 2006 career mode. Second place for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso, we managed to stick with him very early on, but in the second half of the race, he just had that little bit of extra pace up his sleeve, and he managed to build the gap out to 6.4 seconds. So very good drive from him. We end up in second, and that's going to mean some really crucial points for us in the Red Bull. And hopefully this can be a signal to some other teams, and even to Red Bull, to say, hello, I'm in F1, I belong here, please sign me up for next season. But yeah, just been such a good season. And yeah, I really have enjoyed driving this Red Bull for the final 5 races or whatever it was. But now, the fate of my career is it's out of my hands now. So that is the end of Season 2 now. We are going to advance time and see what unfolds in the way of contract offers, what happens with Red Bull, see if we get any more news regarding, you know, other people within F1. Just see what's up. Email inbox. Excellent drive. Your performance in the Grand Prix de Brazil was outstanding. You are a very special talent who seems to be able to push our cars to the absolute limit. I suspect that our competitors are green with envy that you drive for Red Bull Racing and not them. Also, in the championship kind of perspective, Fernando Alonso won that race. And he was 6 points behind Michael Schumacher, who I don't think did too well. So what I'm going to check is the driver standings and see who actually won the championship. So, it was Schumacher on the countback. He must have had more wins. But Michael Schumacher has won the 2006 Formula 1 World Championship from Fernando Alonso, who was level on points. Wow. What a finish to that season that is. I bet if that was real life, that would be absolutely mental, that kind of finish to a Grand Prix season. Massa ends up in 3rd. We end up in 11th. Like I said, it wouldn't have been possible for us to move up any more places in the constructors' standings. I do have some good news to report. It's that Red Bull have moved up into 6th in the driver's standing. So we overtook Williams in the final race, and I'm sure Christian Horner is going to be very grateful about that. Hopefully, he offers me a contract for Season 3. So, all that's left to do now is advance time and see what the fate of our career mode is. Team Restructure. We've decided that it's time for a change in the team's driver lineup. Your recent performances and contributing ability to hit the targets you have set have earned you a promotion to first driver. Your first Grand Prix in your new role will be at the Bahrain International Circuit on Sunday the 9th of March for Season 3. Well done, Benjamin. Maybe I need to check the terms of my contract because maybe I'm signed on for next season as well. Maybe I signed on for a yearly contract and it runs into like September or something, and maybe I can change teams 5 races to go in Season 3. I'm not too sure. Because at the moment I've received no offers, no extension of my contract to Red Bull Racing as well, and there's just been no hype about that at all. So maybe my future is safe in F1 after all. Absolutely nothing in the recruitment side of things, so we're just going to keep fast forwarding time. Okay, so we've come to the 26th of October, and now this is the end point of the season. We're off to the Bullring Hotel in the UK for an end of season party, and then after I click this button, Season 3 will start. Okay, so here we are for the start of Season 3. We have some recruitment. We can go for a trial for BMW Sauber. We can also go for a trial for Williams F1 team. So, I think I need to go back and have a look at what my contract stated when I signed for Red Bull Racing to become a second driver, because I feel like there's something that I've not missed. There's something I've missed, and possibly we're still safe for Season 3. We're going to advance time. To be honest, I don't want to sign for the likes of Williams or anything like that. I'm quite happy for Red Bull. If anything, I'd like to sign for a bigger, faster team. Possibly Toyota, McLaren, Renault, Ferrari. Any of those guys would be good. But it looks like that's it. We are safe with Red Bull, and we are ready to start the Bahrain Grand Prix for Season 3. So now, I'm going to leave off this video here, guys. Season 2 is now over, and I am fully ready to get Season 3 underway now that the massive relief of my future regarding my seat in Formula 1 is safe. We can just chill, and now we can enjoy Season 3 in the not too distant future. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see more Formula 1 gaming videos in the not too distant future. F1 2016 is coming out fairly soon in a few months, so it's a very exciting time. We've got Season 3 to salivate over in the meantime, and I am truly looking forward to getting this season underway. We may not have the quickest car, but at times we could possibly get some wins and some podiums and maybe become a surprise winner for this Formula 1 Drivers' Championship. Leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed. I'm going to leave Season 2 here. Let me know down in the comments what you've thought of this series so far. Just for me personally, I am enjoying this series so much, and I think you guys are too, so it's really refreshing to bring something to you guys that you guys absolutely love, and I love making it as well. So I'm just going to continue with the F1 2006 videos. So with all that out of the way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.